and welcome once again to Lazy Wealth Creation, episode number 3, where we take the money saving expertise and we put it on the flip side to turn it into money making. You know, guys, I'm episode 3 in and I'm getting comments on social media and people are messaging me saying, Carl, where's your high vis? For those of you that don't know, I am in a property community and I am always on social media wearing a high vis. When I go to my Property Academy networks, when I start talking to property professionals, they all see me in a high vis because it adds to brand credibility. And I don't mean getting just a logoed up thing like this very posh item is here. Maybe when I'm a trillionaire, we might sell this as memorabilia in, the Hollywood Hall of Fame or something like that. But the high vis for me, guys, is my sort of brand identity. But I've got my very first branded high visibility vest. Woo! If you're really lucky, we may end up giving some of these away at our in-person events that might be coming by the end of the year. Watch this space. So anyway, enough of that. Now to the serious business of how do we save money. So the first thing might sound obvious, guys, but buy perishable food as you need, but buy non-perishable food in bulk. What is non-perishable food? My background in health and safety and food safety is going to come into play here, so it's going to get very boring. I'm only joking. So, what do I mean by that? Your rices, your pastas, your peanut butters, your cereals, all that stuff that can sit in your cupboard for years and years and years and never go off. It can survive a nuclear blast along with the cockroaches. That's the sort of stuff I'm talking about. Now, you can go to your local corner shop or your co-op and you can buy 500 grams of Tilda rice for about £500 a gram because they rip you off. However, the other thing you could do is go to the likes of Tesco's and buy a kilo of it for £2.50. But what we actually want to be doing is getting it wholesale. So buying 7 kilos, 10 kilos, 15 kilos of rice, pasta, even peanut butter if you really like peanut butter. Not that I do. But you can get all of that. By the way, my missus, she's peanut butter intolerant because she can't have peanuts. I've never seen her do anything that's gone crazy with it when she's eating me crunchy nut cornflakes, but she's allergic. Anyway, so go and buy all that stuff in bulk. It'll cost you about £7.50 to buy 5 kilos of rice. And again, you can get it on Amazon delivered the next day. So you don't even have to pull your back out, lifting it out of the car. So that's not too bad. Now, the serious business of how do we make money from these sorts of things. So every single Sunday, I used to go to a place called Tranmere Rovers Football Club, which is a brand that most people probably won't know unless you follow really bad football. But they have a car boot sale. Sorry, I said Sunday then. I actually meant Saturday. So you can go to a car boot sale of a Saturday and you'll see the professional car boot sellers. They'll be the guys with the tables. They've got everything set out in a particular order. Ignore those guys. What you want to be looking at is the stressed out lady who's got 5 kids with her, or the stressed out guy with the dog and the wife or the girlfriend nagging down his ear. Get it over there. Get it over there. You want to be looking at those guys because what they've done is they've done one of 2 things usually. They've either downsized their house, which means they've got loads of clutter that they need to get rid of quickly because they're moving from a 4-bed to a 3-bed, from a 3-bed to a 2-bed. God forbid if someone's got divorced, a 2-bed to a studio or an HMO. That's a house with multiple occupants. We can talk about that another time. So these people, they've got to get rid of all this stuff. What they do not want to do is take all of that crap back home with them. They don't want to load it in the car. They don't want it hanging around in the hallway, and they definitely don't want the dog to be chewing on some plastic toy that they had from 2001, like a Power Ranger, and then having to get the dog in the vets, having an operation to get that removed from the stomach. Imagine that, a Power Ranger getting removed from your dog's bloody stomach, costing you £5,000. So These are all the arguments that you're going to use, by the way. That's why this is important. So you're going to go up to that person. You're going to weigh up what's in there. Do a little look on eBay or Amazon and have a look at what they've got and have a look at what stuff's going for retail on Amazon and eBay, or even vintage if it's clothing. Then you make a sensible offer of something like, I'll give you 50 quid for the lot, and then you can go home and enjoy the rest of your Saturday or Sunday, depending on where you are. They're going to say, well, no, we didn't really think of it that way. We're going to sell it for this, or we're going to sell it for that. Listen, let me just make you an offer. Let me make your day easier. I'll take the whole lot off you now for 70 quid, all in, and you can go home, get yourself a nice dinner, have the hallway decluttered. Don't worry about your dog chewing on that Power Ranger that I can see just in that corner there, or a Transformer if you're from the 80s like me. And then you get that stuff. And guess what you're doing? You're spending your Sunday now itemizing, tagging, clocking it all, and getting it on eBay, getting it on Amazon. Vintage. It's not used. It's not secondhand. It's vintage. Remember, why? Because when we say used or secondhand, it sounds crap. Let's be honest. Do you want to buy a secondhand car, or do you want to buy a classic? Big difference in that language, isn't there? So when you're looking at your Transformers, your Power Rangers, does anyone remember Manta Force? When I was a kid in the 80s, Manta Force was like huge. Manta Force and Venom. Let me know if you've got any Manta Force still knocking about in your loft somewhere. I've still got the big white ship. I've got the Red Viper. I've got the Bog Rocket. Let me know if you've got any of that stuff, or even if you remember any of it, Commander Quest and all the rest. So anyway, back to the point. Make sure the language that you use when you're selling makes sense to add value. So we don't sell used dresses, we sell vintage dresses. We don't sell old toys, we sell classic toys. We sell 80s memorabilia toys. We sell vintage candlesticks or Edwardian period designed candlesticks. We don't sell stuff that I got from me at Auntie Edna's. So remembering to use that language a little bit more constructively when you're putting your sales together on eBay, Vintage, Amazon. There are other platforms, but they're the ones I personally have used, do use still, and actually they make you quite a bit of money. And again, I know I've already covered this on a previous episode, guys, but eBay, you don't really tend to get as much because the person who buys it from you, they are expecting you to have that delivered to them within a few days, a week, or something like that. With Amazon, if you can guarantee to get that to the person within 24 hours, you can charge considerably more. So imagine you buy an old pair of Nike running shoes in the car boot sale that to you are just a piece of crap, but it turns out that there's some rare shoe that's a collector's item, which, by the way, go on Google, have a look for rare collector's items, Nike trainers and other branded trainers. You'll be surprised. Start having a look in your shoe cupboard before you throw them all out. Have a look at all of that stuff and then look at what they actually sell for on Amazon. You'll be amazed. So I hope that's been useful for you. Let me know in the comments below if you go and do car boot sales and if you've ever tried this. And if you haven't before, don't be afraid to go up and barter, negotiate with the people who are selling the stuff. Especially, please remember, look to those people with the kids who are stressed out, bright red. They've crammed everything into a hatchback car. They're the target audience, not the professional seller who turns up with a white van with 5 tables. Don't look at him. He's never going to entertain you or her. Look at those guys who turned up in the hatchback, turned up in the motorcycle with 5 kids and the dog. They're the ones you're targeting. Let me know how you get on. I'd love to hear your feedback. And as always, I look forward to seeing you on the other side.